Hi, I'm Michael Arnold, and welcome to this video series, Secrets, Lies, and Fertility. So in this video, I want to talk about a common myth that people talk about, and it's often all over the media, which is this idea that suddenly at 35, your fertility just drops off a cliff. And this is something that so many women that I talk to believe because you see the statistic quoted everywhere. But the thing that they don't tell you is that actually this statistic is based on data that's over 100 years old. And there's an article which I'll send you with this email, which actually talks about the more recent research. So the research that everyone quotes is from an article that was published about 10-15 years ago. But what they don't tell you is that where they got their original data from was census data from the 19th century. And that actually the more recent research shows that yes, there is a gradual decline in fertility between age 30 and 40, but that difference between fertility rates at age 30 and age 40 is more like 8%. So the upshot is that a lot of women are believing this lie that suddenly at 35, the fertility is going to just drop off a cliff and that's going to be it. And not only is this not true and it's perpetuated, the deceit is perpetuated, but it's extremely harmful because when you start believing this, then your body will actually respond. So I've talked about the link between stress and fertility many times, and there's actually a lot of research that shows that when you have high levels of cortisol in your body over long periods of time, it inhibits ovulation and inhibits the proper functioning of the reproductive hormones. And there was a recent statistic that even the American Medical Association admits that 90% of all illness these days is as a result of stress. And what bigger stress than to believe that in a few years' time, or that already, if you're over 35, already your fertility has dropped off a cliff and there's no chance that you're going to get pregnant. And it's so insidious, that almost every woman I talk to believes this. And it's not your fault. It's not their fault. It's just the media is, I'm sure the journalist is not their fault either. They should really check up the statistics and check up where the information comes from. But like I said, the upshot is that there's a lot of people who are very anxious because they're believing this lie. And what happens is when you start to think, oh my God, this is never going to happen because I'm over 35 or I'm nearly 35, oh my God, I better get a move on. Then you go into fight or flight mode and you start the body starts shutting down, because when you go into fight or flight mode, thousands of years ago, the fight or flight mechanism evolved because when you had a physical threat, your body went into a mode where it either had to run from the threat or to stay and fight. And what happens is that all the blood flow and the energy goes towards your muscles, and the systems that are non-essential for survival in that moment start to shut down, including the reproductive system. So if you're living in a state of fight or flight, then it's no surprise that your fertility is going to be decreased. And I think that's a major cause. So there's roughly 25 to 30% of all cases of infertility are what's called unexplained infertility. And this is where all the medical tests show that there's nothing wrong, that they can't find anything wrong, and yet they're still not getting pregnant. And in these cases in particular, even doctors will acknowledge that it's stress that's causing the infertility. And there's our lives have become more and more stressful, jobs have become more and more demanding. But the thing is, the doctors will tell you this, but they don't have a solution to addressing the stress. In fact, they'll just say, "Oh, just relax," which is quite possibly the worst thing you can say to someone who's feeling stressed. Just relax, and it's not that simple. If it were that simple, you would be relaxed right now. So I'm going to continue on this theme in the next video, and we're going to be talking about some methods that you can actually use to reduce your stress levels that are based on mindfulness. But I hope you found this video informative and useful, and I look forward to talking to you next time.